Everybody, now welcome back to the channel. Happy Valentine's Day to anyone that is celebrating. But the real love affair of everybody, we all know the real love for all of us is football. And that's what we're here to talk about yet again. Welcome back to the channel. I think I said that twice, but you know what? Welcome back twice. If you're new here, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. And I keep going on about this 300 subscribers thing. We're so close, so close. Can only do it without you guys. I can't make 20 accounts to subscribe. First of all, that'll be cheating, and I don't cheat. That's wrong. That's wrong. I'm not going to name people that cheat, or in footballing terms, I think you lot can, have your jokes. And it does help out a lot because, especially for a new content creator, it just shows that you guys like my content, and that's the direction I want to go in. I can't do without you guys. But the support you guys have shown me has been really, really impressive and really good. So thank you for that. But we're here to talk football, and that's why we're all here. That's why we're watching. That's why you're watching. That's why I'm recording, and that's why we're doing this YouTube thing, and that's why you watch videos, don't you? So I don't know why I'm talking to you like you can hear me, but Brighton embarrassed Chelsea 2 weeks in a row in the FA Cup and now the Premier League. They're not only beating teams at home, they're battering teams at home. This is another big side which have come to the AMEX and have been kind of taken apart. It happened to Man City, they were beating her. It happened to Spurs, they were beating her quite comfortably. Arsenal weren't able to win there as well. And now Chelsea at the forefront. And obviously they beat Man United early in the season. So you look at Brighton as a whole, very, very inconsistent side. They struggle against the teams that are low in the league, against low blocks. And we saw that against Nottingham Forest 2 weeks ago in the Premier League, where they got absolutely stuffed 7-0. That was an embarrassment in terms of result. And now they're beating Chelsea, who are, known to be one of the top sides in the Premier League. Obviously, Forest are higher in the league, but generally speaking, some of the teams Brighton have lost to are teams that are lower down in the league. So, but it's a big win for Brighton, and you can see behind me the guy that was at the star of it, the player that was at the forefront of everything good that Brighton did today. One of them, no doubt, was Minter, and what a player he is! Very raw, but very direct, and very, very impressive on the ball. And I think he possesses qualities that you want in a winger. He's very direct, and he was playing kind of right wing back today, but he was basically in the second. He was basically playing on the wing. It's 3 back in possession for Brighton. I think Lamptey was playing more as a right back rather than Yakubu Minter. But again, he is a ridiculous little talent. He is, and it's a really good signing from Newcastle. Obviously, he spent time on loan last season at Feyenoord under Arne Slot, so I did keep an eye on him, and he was really, really impressive in that league as well. But you can see his maturity. He started the season really, really well, and he drifted away. But it's going to happen with the young players. But I think Brighton have got a player that in a couple of years' time, whether that's next season, the year after that, it's going to be worth a lot of money for one of the top clubs. And that's not me disrespecting Brighton. We have to understand the situation. They are a selling club, and you see the likes of players that have left. Obviously, 2 were playing today in Caicedo and Cucurella for Chelsea, and you see McAllister. Levi Cole was obviously gone back to Chelsea, but they are a selling club, and it works for them. It works really, really well for them, and that's why they're able to recruit so well. They've lost managers, lost players, but this recruitment model that they have just seems to work, and every single season they defy the odds. Because if you look at their situation, the players they lose, they shouldn't be in the position they're in. They're 8th position in the Premier League. They get absolutely robbed every summer of their best players, and they still manage to spawn out new ones. They lost Caicedo, they're bringing Baleba, who was, wow, what a performance today from Baleba. And watching that as a Liverpool supporter was really, really impressive. Ball-winning number 6 that can play as an 8, very, very impressive on the ball, left-footed, wow. And I think we'll talk about Baleba a bit later, but they recruit extremely well, Brighton, very, very well, and that's why they find themselves in the position they're in. And Chelsea were really, really bad. You look at Mitoma and Minter. Wow. 2 wingers, so direct, so brilliant, so elegant on the ball. And you look at Mitoma's goal, where he long ball forward, he picks up the ball. It's a great touch, and so wow, what a finish that is from Mitoma. And obviously, you could argue that Jorgensen should be doing better there, but I just think it's a really, really good goal. And Jamie Carroll in commentary said it was Messi-esque, and I can see why he said that. He's really, really good at dribbling. He's very direct, and maybe that's why Brighton rejected that 80 million pound bid they got from Saudi. And I thought that was a bit silly, but because of his age and considering his output is not great. But when you can do stuff like that, it makes me look like an idiot. And he's a really, really good player. Another one that Brighton have been able to, bring in, and he's done so well over the last couple of years. And credit to them because they've still got the likes of Enciso who's out on loan. They've obviously got Gruda as well, Minter, Mitoma. Adingra. They've got good players. Brighton, obviously, Adingra wasn't involved today, um, but generally speaking, a really outstanding performance from Brighton. Minter with 2 goals, Mitoma with the other. Baleba was colossal, but the main thing that we're going to talk about right now is Chelsea, and they look an absolute mess. They look a mess. Messi Maresca's Chelsea. It is diabolical because this team were a couple of points at the top of the league in December, and now we're in February and they're looking to be outside the top four. I didn't actually look at what the Premier League table was, but they're not in the top four anymore. I think the last time I checked, anyway. No, they are, but obviously Man City now 2 points behind with a game in hand, and obviously Man City win that, they go above Chelsea. Obviously Newcastle as well, 2 points behind. They win that, they go above Chelsea. So Chelsea have put themselves in a bit of a pickle with 14 games to go. If they really want to get in this Champions League, they need to buckle up their ideas. They've picked up 8 points in the last 6 games. It's not good enough. It is not good enough for Chelsea, and you can see how they've fallen down the Premier League table, losing at home to Fulham, dropping points to dropping points to Bournemouth at home. Sorry, and they've just not been good enough. And I look at Chelsea's results in the last. I've got it up here. Chelsea's results in the last couple of games: 1-1 draw to Palace, 2-2 draw with Bournemouth, 3-1 win at Wolves. They obviously lost 3-1 to City, 2-1 win against West Ham, and a 3-0 loss to Brighton. And if you're trying to get in this Champions League, you can't be winning 2 out of 6. Two out of your last 6 games. It's not good enough, especially for the amount of money they spend and the players they have. And yes, all things considered, Madueke went off injured. They haven't got Mudryk. João Felix has gone out on loan, but they have a good enough team to be able to do that. They've got Palmer, they've got Neto, they've got Nkunku, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez. They have good players in their team. It's not an excuse to be talking about injuries all the time when the performances on the pitch are not good enough. And it's quite embarrassing for Chelsea. And I say that with the utmost respect, where their team that should be challenging, especially higher up in the league, not where they are. They shouldn't be in a top 4 battle based on how much money they spend and the players they've got. They should be a lot higher. And I think that will come with time because I think they've got a lot of young players in this squad. Levi Cole, see how young he is. Jorgensen is also very, very young. Caicedo is young. Lavia is going to come back. He's young. Palmer is young. Neto is young. Madueke is young. They've got a very young core of players, Chelsea. And I think Sancho as well is quite young as well. So you look at the players they have; they're all young and they will develop and become a really, really good team in a couple of years. But you can see the kind of inexperience they have at this moment. But it's not an excuse to perform like that because they were battered by Brighton, absolutely battered. And you have to point fingers at the coach because the coach is the one that's setting these players up. The coach is the one that's setting the system up, and the coach is the one setting up these plans to play this way, and it's not working. So something needs to be changed. I think he rectified one issue with taking Robert Sanchez out, whether that's an injury or not. But Robert Sanchez has not been great. He's been costing Chelsea quite a few goals in the last couple of weeks, especially at the Etihad. So Jorgensen's come in, and I think obviously his lack of experience in the Premier League is going to come to fruition as well, and a bit more evident. And I think a lot of people are going to be highlighting the goalkeeping situation at Chelsea. If they're not really found that Courtois replacement, I think we're looking on almost 7-8 years. They've still not been able to replace him. They've tried Kepa Arrizabalaga, Edouard Mendy. They've had Robert Green was signed. Obviously he didn't play much, but they signed Robert Green. They've signed quite a few keepers. Obviously Robert Sanchez was signed. They've signed Jorgensen. There's been quite a few keepers that have tried the Chelsea. Got obviously Petrovic as well. Obviously he's no longer at the club, and I thought he was their best keeper last season. They let him go because he's not good enough with his feet apparently. But if a goalkeeper can't save shots, what use is that? And that's not Petrovic. Petrovic is a really good shot stopper. So what do you do with Chelsea? Is this a team that are Champions League side? Is it a team that's going to challenge for the league? I think they fell off. I think that is the inexperience and the the inexperience of management in Enzo Maresca, especially at the top level. Obviously, managing Leicester is very, very different in the Championship. Is very, very different to managing Chelsea in the Premier League. But I think they've done better than anyone expected because I didn't really have Chelsea nowhere near the top 4. So I think what they've done is they've shown that they can be consistent, but they also can show they can be inconsistent, and that's because of the young core players they have. And it's something they need to address in the summer. I think with a really good keeper, a top level centre back, because they obviously they had to bring Chalobah back on loan from Palace. Obviously Fofana's out injured, Tosin is not really up to it, and Levi Cole is still very, very immature in terms of his experience in the Premier League. So if they get a really good centre back, a really, really good striker, and a really good goalkeeper, I think they could be serious challengers for whoever's up there next year. Liverpool, Arsenal, City, I'm sure will come again. And I think that's what Chelsea need to focus on. I think this season's kind of a free run for them. They're not going to win the league. They probably won't win a trophy this season. Maybe they will win the trophy actually. They won the Conference League. I thought they win that, but FA Cup, League Cup, it looks far. They're obviously not in the League Cup anymore. They're in the FA Cup. They're not going to win the Premier League, and it's a kind of a role where Chelsea need to get in the Champions League. They need to get top four because they have good enough players, and this is a season where some of the teams that are Arsenal, City, are not as good as people expect them to be. And I think there's a real opportunity for Chelsea to sneak into that sort of. Obviously, they got Newcastle, Bournemouth chasing them as well. Obviously, Forest are in amongst that as well. Forest a bit further ahead, but they're still in that kind of realm of whether they're going to get in the Champions League or not. But I think that's what Chelsea need to do. They need to focus and end the season well. They have got a few tough fixtures to go. They still got to play Liverpool at home. I know that for sure. They still got to go away to Arsenal, so it's not going to be easy for them. But I'm sure the experiences of this season, they'll definitely learn from it, because that performance today was not good enough. And ultimately, if they continue to play like this, they're going to fall down and down and down the league. And a season that looked very, very promising for Chelsea could end very, very badly. And I don't think any Chelsea fan wants that. And I don't think any of the players at Chelsea want that either, because like I said before, and I keep reiterating the same point, their quality in their squad is far better than what people think. It's far better than where they are in the league. And, in 2 wins in 6, my point, that that should not happen. We've got one of the best players in the Premier League in Cole Palmer, arguably the best, people could say that. I think it's just down to them what they do in the summer and how they fix this problem, because in the last 6 games it's not been good enough, and I keep highlighting that because you look, the form before that was really, really impressive, and that's why they were very, very, very close to Liverpool, but now they're on 14-15 points behind, and it's happened like this, and it shows the drop off in form, because Liverpool stayed very, very consistent, and that's how I kind of measure every team. You should measure all the top teams to the top team. Obviously that is Liverpool at this moment, and every team should aspire to get to that level. And that's not me saying that because I'm a Liverpool supporter. That's me saying it because that is the team that are first. Everyone should strive to be like the team who are top of the league and topple them. That was Man City last season. That was Man City over the last couple of years, and that was Liverpool in the past as well. So what needs to happen is a pre-season of preparation properly for Chelsea. A really good striking, whether that's Isak, Šeško, Penda, Cunha. Cunha's not a 9, but somebody that can score goals, and I think these players can do that. Somebody that can really put the ball in the back of the net in the 9%, because I think Jackson is really, really good. But if they had that killer up front, things would be a lot different. Maybe they'd be picking up a bit more points, and I think they've lacked that over the last couple of years. But once they get that, I think they could be a real team to watch. But guys, let me know your thoughts below. Where do you think Chelsea will finish in the league? Do you think they'll get in the Champions League or not? I don't think so, because I personally had Liverpool, City, Arsenal, and Newcastle. Not in that order. I had Arsenal to win the league, City, Liverpool, Newcastle. And I stand by that, those 4. Maybe Forest will get in there ahead of Man City, but I kind of expect City to, turn it on a bit, and obviously Forest have a little drop off. But time will tell. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. 300. Remember the number. Remember 300. Before you go to sleep, just say 300. Sarab 300. Sarab 300. Because he's very, very close, and I can't do without your guys' help. But thank you for watching again, and I will see you on the next one.